Welcome to the show. Let's talk about 457 visas with Ye Chen.
Okay, we've got 2.5 minutes. Jeez.
Just enough time to hear you.
Can we just go over?
So Malcolm Turnbull, right?
We always go.
He's our Prime Minister.
Yeah, but like,
Don't bag him out, alright?
this is at least a 10-minute topic.
When I say our Prime Minister, I mean your Prime Minister. Because he apparently doesn't like immigrants anymore.
Be out of here tomorrow.
I don't think he ever did.
No, he used to be he used to be the lefty one.
No, he has changed some laws, some rules in regards to immigration.
Good on him.
The 457 visa is no more. What is the 457 visa, I hear you ask?
I know what it isn't. It's not 457 visas, because that's what I first thought it was.
Did you really?
Did you have a Ye Chen moment?
No, I saw it in the trending. It said he denies 457 visas. I'm like, why would you deny such a specific number of visas?
It's clickbait, and it got you.
What are you going to say?
He can't just change laws. So these are like regulations, right?
Yep.
And is there other stuff he's trying to do that are laws that he needs to get through Parliament?
I don't know, is there?
Okay.
So this is the part where we had to make a joke.
I feel like
I sort of had a research.
I feel like you know the answer
You saw
to
him
this
before
question.
for that minute
I
on his phone.
I actually don't know.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
I think there is some stuff because he's telling Labor to support what he's trying to do.
I think it's
So some stuff that he can't do.
Yeah, I think it's implementation of it as well. So, but it seems like these changes are effective immediately. You cannot apply for a 457 visa anymore. So the 457 visa is a skilled immigrant visa. Okay, so the idea is we need more engineers in the country. So, and nobody wants to study engineering. So there's all these immigrants who are certified engineers. You can come and work here on this visa. And also the best part of this visa as an immigrant is that it leads to a permanent residency. So it's a 4-year visa, and after the 4 years are up, you can apply for a permanent residency, and then you can stay here forever.
Yeah, 1 year of permanent residency, and you can apply for citizenship.
That's right.
There was the other catch to this, that if you are the 547, was it? 457 only applies to people with businesses under like X amount. So if you're one of those higher class business, you can do whatever you want. But if you're lower class ones, then you have to abide by the laws.
Classic Australia.
Which technically says, if you're making lots of money, do whatever you want. But if you're one of those lower struggling ones, you have to fold to this. But in my head is the ones that are making more money, the bigger businesses are just going, we're going to grab the people from wherever we want and put them out of business. If you're a low level business, you have to go within Australia. So the only people it's really affecting is the smaller business.
That's right.
And it's also taking out of that smaller business. I come from the arts. I'm an acrobat, circus performer. I do some stuff like that.
He said circus, not sex just then. I heard sex.
Okay.
Did you?
Yeah.
See, this is why the brain
7 seconds
thing,
went past.
Facebook brain thing would not work.
Yeah.
So even now, my jiu-jitsu teacher is Portuguese. My kickboxing teacher is Chinese. I learnt acrobatics off the Chinese and the Russian, and I learnt acting off a Russian. If these laws were in place back 20 years ago, I would be learning off some Caucasian guy, probably called Kevin.
Barry.
Baz dog.
Watched a YouTube clip. Sure, he's got all the qualifications.
All right, boys, we're going to do some kung fu now.
I watched this in a movie.
This is how the Chinese do it.
We saw what happens when things get rushed like this in Iron Fist.
Great
Doesn't
show.
come out properly.
Great show.
So I see in this thing, it seems to only be affecting the lower classes,
So basically,
which is where it really affects, because I'm never going to be in those $1 million businesses. My friends aren't going to be in these $1 million businesses.
that's right.
So what I see in this is the rich people keep doing what you're doing, everything's going well, and obviously rich people are people you trust because they're taking care of the country and they're not destroying our environment, stuff like that.
To happen to us.
No, they wouldn't. They just want the best for us. And the smaller ones, which we can actually talk to and see, they're the ones that should struggle because obviously they're sneaking these people to do jobs which...
Yeah. So you're saying getting rid of the 457 visas helps the bigger companies and hurts the smaller ones?
Exactly.
Right.
Now, just to make it clear, he has abolished the 457, but he has brought in 2 other visas in its place.
What's the difference?
So the difference is the list of occupations that apply within the visa, because it's not any old job. You can't be a Macca's burger specialist.
There was a list of
And
like
it-
600.
immigrants, yeah.
Speak for yourself.
So
So
650 and he's cut 200 from
yeah,
it.
so 200 of those are gone.
So that's not
there's
the number.
450 left.
Yep. And instead of it being a 1 4-year visa, there's 2 now. So there's a 4-year visa and there's also a 2-year visa. From what I understand, the 2-year visa does not lead to a PR.
I think that's...
So that's work 2 years and then go back to the country.
Back to where you came from.
So you might have just said this, but I might have just missed it. So what kind of jobs are the ones that are not...
Deer farming.
Really?
Yep.
Was one of the jobs.
I didn't even know we had deer in this country.
They got taken away or got kept?
They basically took out the 200 jobs that use it the least.
Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly.
They hardly use this at all.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that though? Because that's the
Deer farming?
backpackers that come through. Because
There was a lot of like
They're not on
rural jobs.
457s.
but they can put them on a 457.
Farming, miners, all this sort of stuff.
Most of them don't though. Most of them just stay as backpackers
Working
because
holiday.
they're trying to
Working
like
holiday,
travel.
yeah.
Yes, it's occasionally, like you're saying, a deer farmer. You're not going to get many people going, you know what? Ever since I was a boy, I wanted to be a deer farmer.
Move to Australia and be a deer farmer.
Where
It
we
sounds
had deer
really
around.
tranquil though.
But the mask,
Deers are jerks, and
Oh,
they have to be.
the message that he's saying is we want to keep Australian jobs for Australian people. And one of the things that he said, which like is
No, he said he wants to keep Australian jobs for poor people. Rich people can do whatever they want.
yeah. So and the thing that's really disturbing is like I wanted
So you're
to know.
against this.
It's his job.
I'm not pro or against, but I don't think what he's saying lines up with what he's doing.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't
So
know
what
whether
parts of
this
it-
is good or bad, but he's saying things like I wanted to ask you guys whether you agree with this, because he said that if there was a job available and there were candidates, he wants to make sure that the Australian gets the job, not the immigrant.
That comes back to my point. Like with my teachers from overseas, like some of my teachers may have trained 10 years at a circus school, but the Australian guy has his work safe health and health, work safe
Health and safety. Yep.
and he's got his teaching degree over there. You can get like 50 different pieces of paper
Yep.
that say you're a better teacher,
But you're not.
but you don't know anything.
That's right.
Like I come from an industry where you have to get these pieces of paper, so if something goes wrong, you're covered for insurance, and they're all for insurance. It's got nothing to do with knowledge. So when it comes down to it, it's like, no, the Australian person's better qualified. It's like, well, are they?
When we were talking about the whole hijab thing as well, I think you were saying that the person that gets the job should be the person that's most qualified to do the job.
Yes.
Whereas I think what Malcolm Turnbull is saying, it should be the most qualified person that is Australian
Yeah.
before we hire someone that's not Australian. Like, do you think that's the right thing to do?
There's some aspects of this that I agree with, but I don't think that's what they're actually fixing by doing this. So a lot of the companies that use the 457 visa, when I first heard this, I was like, no, this is dumb. He's just trying to appeal to like Pauline Hanson voters because they're losing votes to One Nation. So this is like,
And that's the
it's a
criticism he's
dog
getting.
whistling thing, right? But I read some of the arguments for both sides, and I'm like, I kind of understand reasons why it's being rorted a little bit right now. Like you said, with like really big companies, right? That's like, if you're in the IT industry or if you're in any kind of like higher education industry, those are the companies you look for to get internships, because they're the ones that can afford to take you on and train you and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But what's happening right now is if you look for any of these jobs, like you go on Seek or whatever, they're like minimum 5 years experience required.
Yeah.
There are no like entry level jobs. Companies are not training people to do jobs because I guess if they can get someone from overseas to do it, that's way easier than actually bothering to train someone to do the job.
My thing is like, if you're over a certain you make a certain amount of money, you don't have to worry about the law. It's like, well, that's a discriminatory thing. If you've got more money, you should still have to abide to the exact same laws.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be a reason like, sorry, I make lots of money, I should be able to do what I want.
Yeah. I feel like the rorting side of the 457 visa is what contributes to a lot of young, educated Australians not being able to get jobs. Because companies should be training people.
Yeah.
You don't learn everything in uni. You don't learn anything for your job in uni. You learn how to learn. It's supposed to establish that you know something about the area and you can sort of learn. Like, you know how to work out how things work.
Or you learn how much little you know.
Yeah, but companies need to be training people from like the bottom up. Like back maybe 20, 30 years ago, you hear about people starting really low down at a company.
Yeah.
And now they're like the directors or whatever.
And I guess as a company, if you've got two candidates, a fresh Aussie who's just graduated, and then a foreigner who's got 10 years experience,
Yeah. They're not even
And-
bothering with those positions.
it's like
They're just
why
going,
bother? Because
we
hire
need
the
someone to
person-
do a job. We need
Exactly
someone with
right.
experience.
And I guess
That's
as a
what they're saying.
company, the only thing that's in their best interest is how much money they're going to make.
Yeah,
Which is why they go, okay, those small businesses, let's train them up, and when they're worth money, the big businesses, big business can take
Well,
them.
small businesses can't afford usually to train someone.
Yeah.
Like it's harder for them. So the other side of the argument is sometimes you do have critical skill shortages. So say you have to have a business and Australia's just short of accountants.
Yeah.
You can't not having enough accountants actually limits a business's ability to grow, right?
Yeah.
So if you legitimately don't have enough people to fill a role, or like doctors and stuff, or nurses and stuff, we've been using these visas to get those people in because we actually did have a critical shortage.
Well,
So you have
we're
to
short on
establish
chefs at the
whether you're
moment.
actually short of these people, whether you actually don't have them. If you actually don't have them, I think it does have a role. Because you bring that accountant in, all of a sudden this business can start doing more work, makes more money, can have more jobs in whatever it is that it does. Say it's a car manufacturing plant or something. We don't have any of those anymore. But say it used to be back in the day. Like you get that accountant and you get 3 jobs or whatever, right? So like the idea of a 457 visa is for every 457 visa you fill, you generate more jobs for Australians. But how it actually sort of happens in reality is you bring these people in sometimes, like the rorting side of it. It's not every industry, but in some, especially IT, which is the one that uses it the most.
Yep.
They're basically shutting out younger Australians from getting the entry-level jobs and getting the training to get the experience and actually be good at that job. So we're sort of manufacturing a skills shortage and then using it as a reason to bring people in from overseas.
But I think one of the reasons they're attacking the arts is like, well, you can just come in and say you're X, Y, or Z and you should get a job, but you just come in to get the visa. And some people can do that. But it's like punishing everyone for that one person that does, or that X amount of people.
And that's where like you do need to. So the way I saw it was like, okay, it's fine to overhaul this. You need to work out what our education system's for, what shortage and where you're trying to address it. Because it's fine to fill a few important key roles, but don't be like replacing the entry-level jobs that we actually need. Because you need to be training people up. It just screws our economy if all these young people are unemployed and have no way in the door. But then at the same time, if you have shortages, you do need to be able to fill them. From the outside, like, I don't know how it works.
Oh, the arts are just boned. Like, they've pulled all their funding. They're not letting any more artists. What they're trying to do is get rid of all entertainment in Australia, so all we do is work.
Yeah, but then all those work jobs are going to get replaced by robots.
Well,
And the only ones left will be creative ones.
Yeah, arts will be the only
yeah,
ones
but
viable.
from not being able to create and the depression, it's self-culling. Like, Australia just be all automated.
I feel like Disney is working on robots that can make movies. Because they've got these formulas and they seem to work really
They made a
well.
movie about that, didn't they?
Do they?
It's called Wall-E.
Robots that make movies.
The robots did everything.
No, but they didn't make the movie.
They would do.
Are you sure?
They didn't go far into that world. It's a spin-off.
Wall-E made the movie. Just, I guess, hot news as well. Today they've also announced that, I guess, sort of ties in with this. You know how you said
It
before,
definitely ties into this.
the permanent residency. If you have it for 1 year, you can apply for a citizenship.
Yeah.
Now that's changed to 4 years. Yeah.
You have to be a permanent resident for 4 years.
Yeah, you have to be a permanent resident for a minimum of 4 years, and also instead of just having a general exam, you have to go pass the exam and also an English test as well. So they're
the
making the exam
stricter
harder.
English
Yeah,
test.
the exam is harder. You used to have unlimited number of tries if you failed. Now that's gone down to 3 tries, so you have to pass within 3.
I think it
Do
should
you
be
have
something.
to eat Vegemite in this test?
And fight a kangaroo and sing the national anthem
I feel like the citizenship
And if
test.
you can name
at the same time.
all the capitals and all the states, you don't get it because you're not Australian.
Yeah. I feel like you should just know what Gallipoli is and know who Don Bradman is. But I feel like the test is already like stuff that most Australians don't know.
I took
no
it
one
today
knows.
and I failed it pretty bad.
So it's funny. And okay, one of the things is like they're trying to do a values test, they said. And they were
Yeah,
like,
that's
they want
right.
it to be like, you have to respect Australian values if
Yeah.
you want to come here. So you have to say that you respect their values. So like, you're
You
against
respect-
female genital mutilation. You're against like, you believe that men and women are equal. All this stuff, right?
Yeah,
like you're against violence.
You're against
It's
polygamy
so-
and
polygamy. Half the like we have like 3,000 people a year, women who are hospitalized because of domestic violence. Those are not happening because of immigrants.
So do you think it's an Australian value to be domestically violent?
It could be. No, that's not my
seems
point,
like
though.
it.
That's not the point, though. The point is the pledge already has, and this is the thing Penny Wong said, the pledge already says you pledge to obey Australian laws.
Yeah.
It's against the law to commit
That's
violence
right.
against women. It's against the law to commit female genital mutilation. It's against the law to discriminate against someone.
The thing is, making someone
That's
pledge to it is not
religious things
Yeah.
that they're talking
Yeah, but
Everything
like, you're already
yeah.
doing that in the citizenship
But-
test.
about.
Like, if someone can lie on the pledge, they can lie on this
That's
question.
right. It doesn't matter.
I think the point there is like there's consent.
Mm.
If a lady goes, yes, you can mutilate this.
Yep.
Mm.
Consent means it's fine.
Right.
If you put in the law, you're not allowed to do that. That's different to because if I go up and smack a woman in the face and she says, no, that's not consent, I'm not allowed to do that. If because of the religion and the way those families are done, if you say, I'm going to mutilate your genitals, and that's your wife or husband, not the husband, saying
You're
that to a
breaking
wife,
the law.
Yeah.
then that person being a loving wife and with their religion will go, yes, you can do that.
Yeah.
So having it worded like that changes it to make it apply.
It's very blatantly, we don't want Muslims here.
It's a particular sect of Muslims.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like we
It's
don't.
Wahhabism
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
And
That
it's-
really hardline Sunni one that actually thinks that you should, like, men are allowed to hit women. There's a video that came out recently of this group of this Muslim group in Australia that had a video with like two Muslim women talking about this verse in the Bible that's in the Quran that's saying that husband is allowed to hit their wife as a last
Yeah.
resort. But it has to be like a symbolic like hit.
It's a tap with like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
it's
more-
not the extremes what
it's
they're
more
taking to.
So I had like a
Oh,
no, it's like this little stick thing, and it's like it's a
not as hard
symbolic
as
like
that.
hit or something like that.
and I guess like just to make it a bit more personal, I think a lot of these rules come in because of fear of terrorism and fear of
Yeah.
what we don't know. But for people like me, like this like screws me over because it was a year and a half away from becoming Australian. Now I'm 5 years away from becoming Australian.
Yeah.
Is that actually true?
Is it
Yeah.
adding 4
Yeah.
years on, or is it?
So instead of 1 year PR, now I have to be on 4 years PR. So that adds 3 extra years on top.
I've known you for ages. Haven't you been here for like forever?
7 years.
Yeah.
So
Depends on what visa you're on. You have to
Yeah.
be on the PR visa. For
you have to be a
certain amount of
permanent
time.
resident for 4 years, and then you can apply to become an Australian.
Is that anyone applying now?
Yeah.
Just so you know, you'd probably fail this test. You should really study for it.
Did you fail?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Is this the new test you did or the old test?
It
We
was
don't
like,
have
it was
the
like
new
a,
test
it was
yet.
a sample of the old one.
Yeah.
And it's all
if you're
about.
failing the old one, then the new one's going to be even harder.
Can you imagine if they had certain questions they expect you to fail to be Australian?
There's 100%.
What day is the Queen's birthday? Oh, crikey, got no idea. But you have to write that down. Crikey, no idea.
That's one of the dots you could have.
Yeah, the questions are pretty ridiculous.
What
like-
day is the Anzac public holiday? Oh, it's the day I go to the pub and play two-up.
Yeah.
It's like government and constitution questions, which I
Exactly,
didn't even
yeah.
know we had a constitution. Like that's how useless I am.
And instead of saying, what are the public holidays, it's how many days off do you have a year due to public holidays? Oh, I think that's about 5 to 6. If you're in West Australia, it's 7.
Yeah. How many days off a year do you get for sick leave?
10.
I thought it was 17.
Huh? 17?
I've never had a
It
job
was
where I got
10.
sick leave.
I thought it was 10.
Or a
Anyway, we got to
full-time
wrap
job.
up. We've gone
Anyways.
way over time. This is the longest episode we've had besides the first one.
How
It's
good
all
is being an immigrant?
Did we
So
beat the
good.
first one?
I feel like we didn't interrupt each other as much as we usually do, which is progress. And Jesse, how'd you go? How do you feel?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you ask us how you went?
How do you go, guys?
Yeah, you're great.
Yeah, that's good.
No, you're
I
good.
thought he was about to trash you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, Yachem was less annoying in person than yelling at my iPhone going, I can't believe you just freaking said that.
When did I say that?
No, he's yelling at the iPhone for
Oh.
you saying something.
Anyway, this has been awesome. You might see Jesse in upcoming things. Who knows what's going to happen? You know, I can't tell the future. Can you?
Yes.
Really?
What?
Yes.
I don't want to know.
Gee.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and share on YouTube or on Facebook or wherever you're seeing us. iTunes, give us a new iTunes review. iTunes is like changing everything with podcasts. Have you heard about this?
Correct.
They might even do a paid subscription soon.
iTunes is no more.
Yeah.
Apple Podcast.
It's Apple Podcasts. It's
As
not
in,
on iTunes anymore.
like, everyone has to pay to
No,
listen to podcasts?
I think it's an optional thing.
You can put your own price on it.
Yeah. No, it's you can pay. I don't know. It hasn't been created.
Do
so
I have to
don't actually know.
download a new app to listen to?
No.
It's a trend.
Still,
I hope
podcast
not.
app.
Are they going to put ads on our podcast?
I don't think so.
Are
I
we
think it's
gonna
more of
put
I think,
ads on our
I think it's more of a
podcast?
YouTube Red situation.
Are we going to do ads instead of just Netflix all the time?
Are we gonna promote?
Once Netflix pays this podcast, we'll be sorted.
Yeah.
Will we ever get paid for promotions?
So
We don't
anyway, thanks for watching.
We did a lot on Pepsi last
We'll
night.
see you next week.